LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga is a game I'm sure many of you have played at some point in your life, whether it was on an Xbox, PlayStation, Wii, or even on your phone. I've actually played the game on all of those in the past, as the addicting gameplay and simple LEGO theme makes me go back to replay it, even now 14 years after its release. I've wanted to make a video on it for quite a while, then the other day I had an idea. I would try to beat the first level without taking a single heart of damage. This sounded easy at first, but I soon realised what a challenge I was taking on. The difficult part is that you never get droids alone, they're always in at least pairs, sometimes in large groups. Furthermore, they attempt to surround you and are actually completely accurate with their shots. To begin with, I'll talk you through the level. First, you have to sit through an opening cutscene, then you find yourself in this small room. You use the Force to destroy the door and have to destroy a few droids in the hallway. Go around the corner and kill some more clankers. You then have to swap to the protocol droid to open this doorway. In the next room, you have to use the Force to open the hatch where LEGO bricks spill out, so you can build a terminal for the droid. The final room in this area is a vent that needs to be removed. There are two droids on the other side, acting kinda sus. The second area is one big room. You drop down and destroy a group of droids, and see two droidicas guarding the wall. You destroy the remaining clankers, then can either attack the droidicas with your lightsaber, or deflect their bolts back at them. You then have to use the Force to create a platform so you can step on the buttons to allow the protocol droid through. A few droids attack, then you use the terminal and climb into the ship, completing the level. At first I tried to simply brute force my way through the level, killing every droid in my path and blocking well. This strategy, however, was quite difficult to pull off, especially in the second area where there are large groups of clankers and two droidicas. After quite a few failed attempts using this method, I went back to the drawing board for ideas. Now you may be thinking, why don't you simply block the whole time? Well, blocking in LEGO Star Wars doesn't work like that. If you hold attack with the lightsaber you begin to block, and any shots that would hit you are deflected randomly. You can't move whilst blocking, except a slight shuffle right before a bolt is deflected. However, if you press attack just before a bolt would hit you, you deflect it back at the enemy, usually killing them. This introduces a bit of a risk-reward to the game, as pulling off a deflect can be tricky, especially with droidicas for example, as their attack patterns are almost random. I remembered that droids will not attack the protocol droid or other battle droids. I realised that I could just wander past them whilst my AI teammate draws their fire. I could get through the first area easily enough like this. However, there are a few tricky parts, like the second terminal where I have to briefly swap to a Jedi to use the Force and build it. The second I swap to anything other than a droid, enemies will instantly attack, so I only have a small window of opportunity to play as a different character before the clankers catch up. Once I'm in the second area, I use a sort of glitch. The droids won't attack you whilst up here, so I have plenty of time to swap myself and my partner to imposter battle droids. I ignore the enemies, including the droidicas, then I reach the wall. I don't think the devs intended it, but Jar Jar can actually jump over the wall at certain points, since this jump is higher than that of the Jedis. I have to be fast though, as the second I touch the wall with Jar Jar, the droidicas start attacking, so I can't miss the jump. Once I'm over the wall I ignore the buttons, as I can simply swap to the protocol droid. I activate the terminal and I'm done. It took me quite a few attempts to do all that successfully. Yet once I do it, I find that I have a weird feeling, like I've just done something important. At the time I had no idea I was only on the tip of the iceberg. Out of interest, I looked at how long the run took me. It turned out to be sub 2 minutes, at 1 minute 58 seconds. I decided, for whatever reason, to try and get a better time than that. I tried using the same strategy, but found that I couldn't improve much, as I actually did the initial run extremely efficiently anyway. I could probably get a few seconds off, but nothing major. My target was to get a run under 1 minute 45 seconds. I realised that I could get a lot of time off if I didn't have to slowly walk through the entire first area as the protocol droid. I couldn't go as a battle droid as the AI would attack me. The reason I can do that in the second area is due to an idea that I have. I call it hostility theory. As you can see, I can drop down from the sledge as a battle droid and the enemies will ignore me. If I drop down as a Jedi, however, they will attack. That makes sense. However, this is where it gets weird. If I drop down as a battle droid, then swap to a Jedi, they still won't attack. If I, as a battle droid or Jedi, attack an enemy, use the Force, or even just shoot a blaster bolt, they will turn hostile. Even switching to the secondary player causes their hostility. I think I've found why I can swap to a regular character without trouble, but can't initially pick one. As you can see, they won't attack me as Jar Jar once I've swapped to him from being a battle droid. However, if I jump around about here, they will turn hostile. The same can be said for the wall section here. I call these hostility zones, so when I enter as a Jedi and drop down, I pass through the hostility zone, triggering the enemy AI to become hostile. However, battle droids and regular droids can pass through without triggering hostility. I think I should quickly explain why battle droids can pass through hostility zones without harm. The devs of the game included an interesting feature which works most of the time, though there is a flaw with it. Battle droids will not attack other battle droids, so they can pass through hostility zones without issue. The same goes for disguised clones on the level Ruin of the Jedi. This also works for a few other characters that can be played and also appear as enemies. However, this is where it goes wrong. Battle droids will not attack battle droids, but they will also not attack disguised clones and vice versa. I'm not sure if this could help me in any way, but it's a neat Easter egg nonetheless. Anyway, back to the speedruns. I realised that it was much faster to kill the droids as a Jedi than to try and slowly walk past them. It was trickier, but much faster and less risky. After quite a few attempts, this happened. The first area went very well, despite a close call with a droid when I go around the corner. I entered the second zone and made the decision to try and get lucky, instead of playing it safe by swapping to droids, as that takes a few seconds. Jar Jar channeled the dark side of the Force to avoid every blaster bolt, and improved his physical abilities with the Force and jumped over the wall. My time at the end was 1 minute 28, which amazed me, as I had not only beaten 1 minute 45, but also 1 minute 30. Obviously, my next goal was to get a sub 1 minute 15, which I knew would be difficult. My latest idea was to use the Emperor, as he attacks very quickly, and the Assassin Droid, as he can use the terminals whilst also being regular speed. I managed to pull this off in a run. The first area went very well, although I could have dispatched the clankers a bit faster, and the second area also went better than expected, so I managed to clear the hostility zone with the Gungan Warrior. I finished the run with a time of 1 minute 17, which is very good, but above 1 minute 15. I had an idea for how to remove a few seconds, so I tried running it with that strategy, and after many hours of attempts, this happened. The first area was the same as before, although I managed to kill the clankers very fast. I lost a bit of time when I accidentally threw a grenade, although it didn't make much difference. In the second area I took a shorter route and used the blue thing as a platform to jump over the wall. I got to the terminal and jumped inside the transport with a time of 1 minute 14 seconds and a half. And this is where my record stands today. If I made no mistakes, I could possibly knock off a second or two, and I have tried, but being fast at killing droids in the first area, lucky with character swapping and making the jumps as desired, whilst also not taking any damage at all, is simply not achievable for me at the moment. Maybe one day I'll perform a perfect run of the level, maybe I won't. Perhaps somebody watching this video will be my record, or a complete stranger. For now, it seems LEGO Star Wars perfection is just out of reach, but for how long is anyone's guess.